Prismatic Titan is finally in an amazing spot, and Icefall Mantle got an insane rework. Mako's Buck here, and today let's go over my endgame Prismatic Icefall Titan. Kicking it off with our exotic armor piece, and that is going to be the Icefall Mantle Exotic Gauntlets. Icefall's recently got a rework that took these from 0 to S tier. Icefall used to turn you into a slow-moving ice-covered titan that didn't do much of anything. Now Icefall's Glacial Guard grants you Armor Frost while you have a Stasis Super equipped and get Rapid Stasis Final Blows. Whenever you gain Frost Armor, you heal yourself, and Icefalls replace your class ability with a burst of Stasis Energy that freezes everything around you and grants you increased Frost Armor. And since Revenant is basically Season of the Stasis, this build goes extra hard. With that said, let's get into our Prismatic subclass setup, and obviously our super is going to be Glacial Quake, as we need a Stasis super equipped. Moving on to the abilities, and your class ability does not matter as they all seem to have the same cooldown timer for Icefall Mantle proccing. However, I have on Thruster just in case. Your jump will be Preference, I'm using Catapult Lift, your melee will be Frenzied Blade, and your grenade will be Glacier Grenade. Your aspects will be Knockout, critically wounding a target or breaking their shield infuses your melee with arc energy and increases your melee range and damage. Defeating targets with melee attacks makes you amplified and restores a small portion of your health. Your second aspect will be Diamond Lance, shatter or defeat targets with abilities or stasis weapons to create a Diamond Lance. You can throw or slam your Diamond Lance. I prefer to slam it as this will grant you 2 stacks of Frost Armor per slam. Your fragments will be Facet of Command, freezing a target reloads your equipped weapons and increases weapon stability, aim assist, and airborne effectiveness, and the part we actually care about, defeating frozen targets, creates a Stasis Shard. Picking up Stasis Shards grants melee energy, which means more Titan punches. Facet of Protection, while surrounded by combatants, you are more resistant to incoming damage. You could also swap this for Facet of Purpose to get Frost Armor when you pick up an orb, but I found Protection to be more consistent, and we have a lot of ways to get Frost Armor already. Facet of Ruin increases size and damage of the burst when you shatter a stasis crystal or frozen target. Facet of Awakening, rapidly defeating targets with light or darkness damage or super final blows, generates an elemental pickup of the matching damage type. On top of stasis shards and diamond lances dropping, you will now have strand tangles to throw as well. And lastly, Facet of Hope. While you have an elemental buff, your class ability regenerates more quickly. This obviously ties into always having Frost Armor and wanting to be able to pop Icefall Mantle as much as possible. Now that our subclass is set up, let's go over our armor mods, starting with the helmet, and that will be Double Dynamo, reduces super cooldown when using your class ability near enemies, and Harmonic Siphon, so that stasis weapon kills will grant us orbs as we are on a stasis super. Your arms will be heavy-handed, powered melee final blows, create an orb of power, focusing strike, dealing damage with a melee attack grants class ability energy and fastball so that you can throw grenades further. Your chest will be damage resistances matching the activity or enemy you are fighting. This is a run and gun build, so I would at least have on melee damage resistance for DR against close range enemies. Legs will be Recuperation, replenishes health each time you pick up an orb of power. Insulation reduces class ability cooldown each time you pick up an orb of power, and Stacks on Stacks, picking up an orb of power grants 1 additional armor charge. And lastly, your mark will be Double Utility Kickstart. When your class ability energy is fully expended, your armor charge is consumed, and you gain class ability energy for each armor charge used. Before I go over our weapon setup, let's check out this seasonal artifact for Revenant, and Stasis and Arc weapon users should love this one. For this build, you are going to want to run these on your artifact: Overload Breach Load Grenade Launcher. One with Frost, while Frost Armor is active, Stasis weapons gain increased reload speed and stability. Enhanced Ether Generator, Dark Ether Reaper Origin trait, has a chance to spawn an extra Dark Ether charge. Weapons with Dark Ether Reaper trait are overcharged when that modifier is active. Rapid Impacts, dealing damage with a grenade launcher, temporarily increases the reload speed of grenade launchers. Trace Evidence, rapid precision hits or rapid final blows on targets affected by Jolt or Blind will generate ionic traces. Armor of Aramis, while Frost Armor is active, taking critical damage from combatants causes you to emit a freezing burst. Hail the Storm, shattering stasis crystals, releases shards of ice that damage and slow targets. Concussive Reload, using your grenade launcher to damage a boss, champion, or break a combatant's shield weakens them. Brain Freeze, frozen enemies become surrounded by chilling fog, which slows enemies that aren't already. Weapons with Dark Ether Reaper origin trait deal more damage to frozen enemies. And lastly, Served Cold, picking up stasis shards grants you class ability energy. As you can tell from our artifact setup, we are going to be using stasis and arc weapons and a grenade launcher. With that said, let's get into our weapons loadout. In the kinetic slot, we have the new stasis grenade launcher, Liturgy, which comes with Dark Ether Reaper origin trait. Final blows with this weapon can spawn Dark Ether charges. Charges can be detonated, which refills the weapon from reserves. Now, you get a really good curated roll of this weapon just by playing the campaign, so you can certainly use that roll with this build. I happen to have gotten a slightly better version to drop, but your perks are the main thing for this GL, and those are Rhyme Stealer, destroying a stasis crystal or defeating a frozen target grants you frost armor. And Chill Clip, direct hits with one GL shot will slow the target, quickly land a second direct hit to completely freeze the target. My role has Spike Nades, Hard Launch, Handling Masterwork, and once you enhance the weapon, you can use one of the new weapon mods, and I have chosen the Tactical Weapon mod for +6 to both handling and reload. You could also swap out Spike Nades for Blinding Nades, however, I am not a big fan of Blinding Nades with Chill Clip. In the energy slot, you will want to use an arc weapon, one with Volt Shot or the new perk Jolting Feedback, as we are using trace evidence on our artifact to generate ionic traces when we defeat jolted targets. Because of our artifact, I revisited Nation of Beast and Brigand's Law this season and both feel fantastic with this build. My Nation role has Eddy Current for insane reload speed and handling while sprinting, and even more when amplified, which we are running Knockout on this build. You will want to pair this with Volt Shot, which procs jolting bullets after reloading when defeating an enemy. As for the barrel and mag, you will want to run Fluted Barrel and Tactical Mag with a backup mag mod. For Brigand's Law, I prefer Arrowhead Break, Flared Magwell, Perpetual Motion, and Volt Shot with the new Tactical Weapon mod. You don't have to use either of these weapons. You can use any arc energy weapon that has Volt Shot or Jolting Feedback. And lastly, our heavy slot is going to be Anarchy. That's right, Anarchy. Anytime the artifact returns weakening GLs to the table, you know Anarchy is going to hit, and boy does it feel great again. Your stat goals for this build are going to be 100 Resilience as your priority, followed by High Discipline and High Strength. If you like this video, don't forget to click that thumbs up, subscribe, and turn those notifications on. See you next time.